Howdy folks, today we've got another kit for you today. This is from Riffield Models. This is a British Sherman VC Firefly. This tank on the front box art was one of the tanks, allegedly, as the story goes, was the one that took out Michael Whitman's Tiger, the famous German commander that had the German tank. This was allegedly, supposedly, as the story goes, killed Michael Whitman. There's a big discussion of who actually killed Michael Whitman, but nonetheless, that's another story for another day. Yeah, you get some CAD work on the side of the box, different gun noses, some different attachments on the hatches, photo-etched parts, side fenders and stuff. We have this is the kit number 5038. It's 135 scale. As I say, first kit scheme is from the 3rd Troop Squad, Northamptonshire, France 1944, which was on the box art. They took out Michael Whitman's tank. We have the North Legions or British Guard Armoured Division 5th Grenadier Armoured Bridge 2nd Armoured, whatever that is. And then you got 1st Squad 2nd Armoured Regiment Polish 1st Armoured Division UK Spring 1944. But like I say, I'll be doing number 12 because it's the most famous one. I do have Michael Whitman's Tiger from our Academy, so this will go nice together with those two tanks. So we've got 1 sprue, 2, 3, 4, got 5 sprues, your turret and the upper hull. We're going to go through this and see what we got. So here's the instructions of the British Firefly. You've got your warning symbols on the front, a little bit of warnings and caution and stuff. It's a nice booklet, which I do like. First page is all your sprue map. By the looks of it, everything in the kit is needed. You do get photo-etched and your decals, a little bit of clear. Tracks have got to be put together. So this is your first marking option, again from the Northamptonshire Regiment. Valuki on the side of the vehicle is a Russian town, I do know that much. You get your 2 other schemes. Also, the Firefly was the Sherman that was upgraded with the 2-pounder gun, and it can take on the Tiger tank. You start off with making up the lower hull. This is not a bathtub hull, like you can see, it comes in several parts. Then you're working on the gearbox transmission casing, I think that is, on the side. You have obviously 2 of those. The back of the vehicle, some hatches and handles. This is the front gearbox cover with the Shermans. Of easy in the field, if they've having to change the gearbox and stuff, they can just unbolt the whole tyre front, change the gearbox and bolt it back on. Nice and simple. You got your sideboard, which sits on the side of the Sherman. Some extra towing points. You've got another type of towing point. You can either have it vertical or up and down. Not quite sure what that is. And you're working on your idler and drive sprockets. you have got, looks like 3 different types. Then you've got your exhaust system, which is at the back of the vehicle, which is the with the louvers and grills. I think the exhaust system points downwards towards the floor. And then you've got your bogie system for the road wheels. So you'll be working on your bogie system. You do have a little spring in the kit, it comes in a poly bag, so the suspension is workable. Bit of a gimmick in my opinion. It'd be good if it works properly, but I'm not too fussed about things like that. But it is a nice touch that you do get it in the kit. But me, I'm probably going to just glue it in place because it's going to be a static model. It's not like you're going to be playing around with it or anything. We're only working on the tracks. The tracks are under tension, so you won't have to worry about any sag with the Sherman. You do get a jig. You have to put the links in, and then the pins either side, clamp it in place. A little bit of glue on the track pads. Take the side parts out, and then technically you should have the workable link section. It requires 83 links each side, they recommend. Drilling out your holes in the top part is probably for hard points and handles and stuff for the tow cable and stuff to clamp onto. Working on the inside, a little bit of cupolas and vision ports for the 2 hatches. Working on the outside, looks like more vision ports and the guard that goes around it protects it. You are working on the 2 hatches, which is here. You've got a little jig to bend the photo-etched around for the light guards. Spare tracks going together. Just drilling out 2 more holes for these corner hard point pieces. Tools going on and stuff. Me personally, I'd leave that to the end, unless it's painted as the same as the vehicle. Working on your back engine deck, spade going on. Again, I'll leave that towards the end. Light guards going on, you have to bend them around the photo etch. Drilling your holes out on the back engine deck for the gun clamp for transport. Two options of where you want to put it. I'll probably stick one in the middle. More tools, fire extinguisher, cleaning rods. I think the cleaning rods are the same colour as the vehicle, and the rest of it get painted. Storage boxes, looks like it's on the is that the side or the top? I think that's on the side, but it's some kind of storage box you have to put together. So you know it's on the back. It's on the back of the vehicle, just a bit above the exhaust system. You've got your left and right fender going on, which is this section here to put together. You've got your side guard for the tracks to cover up the side covers. A little bit of photo etch on the bottom of it. You've got a bend, what looks like a 45-degree angle, I think that is. So it's an L shape. You could possibly put a little bit on and leave some bits off if it's damaged or whatever. Then you're working on the turret. Working on the inside, cupolas and some fire extinguisher. That's on the inside, only a couple of pieces. On the outside you've got all your hard points and hardware going on. Then you're working on your main gun. You've got the gun mantlet, the gun as well, I believe is slide moulded in this kit, but the actual end piece is 2 pieces, so a little bit of clean up. Unless you can find an aftermarket barrel, you can go down that route, entirely up to you. You've got the hatches open or closed for the top. Machine gun going on is either 30 cal or 50 cal machine gun, browning or something. I believe that might be the ammo box as well going on the side. Nice touch. I do, if I remember rightly, because I have had a quick butcher's at this kit, I think this end piece is slide molded and all these holes are drilled out, so you don't technically need an aftermarket one because it's molded quite plainly. And then you're working on the commander's hatch, I believe this is. I think you've got 3 different ways of doing it, of how you want to mount the machine gun. More storage, or is that, yeah, I think that's more storage, and where they store the ammunition rack type thing on the back of the turret. Sandwiching the 2 halves together, but my opinion, all the hardware that you need to put on this top piece, me personally, I recommend you sandwich it together first and then go back to this step, which is all the hardware, all this section, and put this on at the end once these 2 are sandwiched together. Because if you do it while it's off and then try and sandwich it together, trying to get to clamp it down if you need to, you might end up breaking pieces off. And then the last step they're saying is to drop down your turret. Don't forget your turret ring, tow cable, and then you're ready for paint. I'm going to take the sprues from the top of the bag in no particular order. We're going to see what we get. We do have resealable bags. So this first sprue contains the lower hull halves. These are the side walls for the suspension, nicely detailed with the bolts and stuff. This section here is the actual bottom of the vehicle. Oil pan covers, by the looks of things, probably a escape hatch as well and stuff. These are those side running boards on the underside. There's those transmission case pieces. Again, it's got a cast texture to it, which is a nice touch, and the same as the transmission case or gearbox cover. Again, got that cast texture molded in the manufacturer's stamp as well. That's a nice touch. Going to take a nice wash and stuff. All the ejector pins on the inside, so you're not going to see a damn thing, which is good. There's that back piece again. More covers, part of the fender system. This is the back of the tank. That's one of the engine decks, I believe. These are the pieces that slot in the gearbox casing. Some kind of grills. That's one of the front pieces as well, sits on top of the gearbox casing. This one has so I've never built a rifle models kit before. This is my first one, so hopefully it'll be alright. Here's the turret ring, moulded again, nice bolt detail, and then the tooth segment is on this side. And then there's the lower section of the turret, so this will go inside here. Commander's hatch, and then fine detail parts. One of the boxes, more fine detail parts. This sprue here contains your barrel. I mentioned it wasn't slide molded, but it's molded as one piece anyway still. So you will have a bit of a seam line going down the centre. You will a couple of swipes with the stick, sanding stick, and it should be good to go. Toolboxes, the 2 ends of the barrel, You have to sandwich them together. You've got your gum mantlet here, and I think that's another type, but I don't think you need this one actually. Or these two go together, I can't remember. Cleaning rods, part of the towing system. There's your clamp for the barrel if you're having it in transport mode. Here's the turret. Again, it's got that cast texture. Nicely done. All your ejection pins on the inside, which you're not going to see. But I do like this. Highly detailed. We have these two sprues identical. Again, this is like all fine detail hardware. Not 100% sure what most of these parts are. Again, this is another sprue. It's got tools, jerry cans and ammo boxes. There's that machine gun I was talking about where the end is drilled out. You're going to have to drill those holes out, but those side ones are done. So yeah, it'd be nicely done. A couple of machine guns. I don't recall seeing any of this in the manual. I don't remember seeing these machine guns and stuff. But nonetheless, nicely done. This sprue contains the fenders, the hooks for towing, again it's got a nice bolt detail on it. Two larger sprues. Again, these two are identical sprues with wheels. So we have got all the cast texture again on the bogies for the suspension. These pieces are cast as well. You've got the outer ring, inner ring with the road wheels. These ones are cast as one piece. These are the centre caps to go inside these. There's like the inner caps that go inside those as well, possibly. Part of the suspension again. These are your drive sprockets. So just be careful which ones you're going to use for what variant of the tank. Or like slight difference in the drive sprockets. You have the upper hull, which is Sherman cast. Upper hull, I can't remember. The front part is cast, and with the weld seam. I don't recall if the Sherman was cast around the edge, but it's got kind of a cast texture with a nice weld seam on it as well. Don't forget to cut this out. There's your engine deck. Quite a not big tank, but it's reasonable size, quite wide, I think a Sherman is. And his giant bag contains all your tracks. This is probably the bit that's going to take the longest doing. Probably this is going to take just as long as the actual kit itself. Right, where were we? Right, we have 4 sprues the same. Here is part of your jig system, which is here. These are the pins. All these square pieces are your rubber pads. So where's the so that's the bottom, and this is the top, and then the pins go in the middle, I believe. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad hopefully, but it just looks a lot of work, but it should be nicely when it's done though. You've got your markings, your decals. As I say, I'll be doing number 12, which is the one that took out Michael Whitman's Tiger. You do get some nice photo-etched on the back for your light guards, engine cover, grills, for the exhaust stem, I think that is. Even down to some what looks like padlocks and stuff for the storage boxes and stuff. So that's a nice touch. Even down to the keys as well. Just here, you can see just the keys. We have got some pieces, not quite sure what these were for. Probably something to do with the suspension. There's your springs for the expansion, bogies, suspension pieces. Your poly caps for your wheels, different sizes, so just be careful. You have your clear lenses for your is it cupolas or vision ports type thing. And then you get a black tow cable, which is a nice touch. I prefer to have it in black because it's easier to do. When some kits do the white, you have to paint it up and then it can bleed through and just be a nightmare, and then you end up getting frustrated and you're having to buy a metal cable. But when it's in black, I find it easier to work with. So there you go guys, there's another kit from RFM, Rifle Models, British Sherman VC Firefly, 1/35 scale. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.